In the United States, power does not belong to politicians. It belongs to the law. And this week, federal judges reminded America of that fact loudly. A Trump-appointed U.S. attorney, one of the most powerful prosecutors in the country, was ordered by federal judges to stop using her title immediately. Within hours, she was gone. No election, no impeachment. No political vote, just judges enforcing the law. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe now for clear, fact-based breakdowns of America's most important legal moments. Because what you're about to hear affects how justice works for everyone. Who is a U.S. attorney, and why this role matters. To understand why this story exploded, you need to understand one thing. A U.S. attorney is not just another government lawyer. They are the top federal prosecutor in their district, responsible for criminal indictments, plea deals, national security cases, able to put people in prison or destroy lives with charging decisions. The Eastern District of Virginia, the office at the center of this story, is known as the Rocket Docket. It handles intelligence, leaks, terrorism cases, political corruption, major corporate crimes. This is not a ceremonial job. This is power. How U.S. attorneys are legally appointed under U.S. law. There are only 3 legal ways to become a U.S. attorney: presidential nomination, plus Senate confirmation, temporary interim appointment, limited by time, judicial appointment. If the position remains vacant, Congress deliberately designed this system to prevent political abuse. Why? Because prosecutors should answer to the law, not loyalty. The appointment that triggered a legal firestorm. Lindsay Halligan, a lawyer closely associated with Donald Trump, was appointed as an interim U.S. attorney. At first, everything looked normal. But then, the clock became the problem. Federal law strictly limits how long an interim U.S. attorney can serve without Senate confirmation. When that legal deadline passed, judges began asking a dangerous question. Backhand index pointing right. Does she still have the legal authority to prosecute anyone at all? Judges begin to push back. Federal judges don't act emotionally. They act slowly and deliberately. But once multiple judges reviewed the appointment timeline, something became clear. Police car light, the legal authority had expired. Court hearings turned tense. Defense attorneys began challenging indictments. Judges openly questioned whether cases brought under her authority were valid. And then, the moment that changed everything. A federal judge issued a direct order. Right, she was no longer allowed to call herself a U.S. attorney. This wasn't symbolic. This wasn't political. It was a legal command. In federal court, titles matter because authority matters. And without authority, every prosecution collapses. Almost immediately, active prosecutions were challenged, indictments were dismissed, defense attorneys demanded reviews. Why? Because if the prosecutor lacked legal authority, then every action becomes legally tainted. This is the legal equivalent of pulling the plug. Why judges acted so forcefully? Judges are guardians of procedure. If courts allow illegal appointments, expired authority, political prosecutors, then the justice system loses credibility. This ruling wasn't about Trump. It was about protecting the structure of law itself. Why this story went viral in America? This case exploded because it touches deep American fears. Political control of justice, abuse of prosecutorial power, erosion of checks and balances, no matter where you stand politically. This question matters. Backhand index pointing right. Can prosecutors operate without lawful authority? The court's answer was clear. No. The resignation shortly after the court order, Lindsay Halligan left the position. No dramatic press conference, no legal victory lap, just silence. In law, silence often means defeat. What this means for the Justice Department, this case sends a chilling message. Heavy checkmark judges will intervene. Heavy checkmark appointments will be scrutinized. Heavy checkmark politics cannot override statutes. It reinforces a fundamental American rule. Even prosecutors must follow the law. What happens next? Cases may be refiled under proper authority appointment procedures, will tighten future interim appointments, will face stricter review. This ruling will be cited in courtrooms for years. This wasn't a headline, it was a warning that titles don't create power, the law does. And when the law speaks, even the powerful must step aside. Backhand index pointing right. Like, subscribe, and share if you believe the justice system should answer to the Constitution, not politics.